Max Verstappen holds the most powerful piece of paper in Formula One, not a contract that ties him to Red Bull until 2028, a clause that lets him walk away. Red Bull sits fourth in the Constructors' Championship. Verstappen sits sixth with 109 points. Kimi Antonelli leads on 219. That 110-point gap has activated the clause. The RB22, Red Bull's first in-house power unit with Ford, has delivered reliability issues and a performance deficit no driver can overcome. Raymond Vermeulen confirmed the clause exists. "We have never had to use it until now," he said. Those two words are the warning Red Bull cannot ignore. They responded with an offer through 2029 with a salary increase, all for one trade: the removal of the performance clause. The next section reveals why Jos Verstappen responded with 4 words that changed everything. Verstappen sits sixth with 109 points. Antonelli leads on 219. That 110-point gap over half a season is not a bad run of form. It is a structural failure. And the failure is not in the driver. The RB22 loses time in power-sensitive sectors where engine deployment matters most. Compared to Ferrari and Mercedes, the Red Bull power unit is down on horsepower and deployment consistency. Red Bull sits fourth in the constructors behind Ferrari, Mercedes, and McLaren. The summer break is the contractual checkpoint. The clause is tied to a specific championship position at a specific moment. That moment has passed. The clause is active. The door is open. The next section reveals the mechanism behind that clause and why it gives Verstappen more power than any driver in history. Vermeulen confirmed the clause. "We have a contract until 2028, he said. "Contracts always contain exit clauses, but we have never had to use them so far. The threshold, according to multiple reports, is a top 2 or top 3 championship position at the summer break. Sixth is nowhere near that mark. The clause is active. Verstappen has until mid-October to decide. There was once a clause linked to Helmut Marko. If Marko left, Verstappen could leave. That clause was removed in late 2024. Now Red Bull wants to close the last one. Verstappen holds the strongest card a driver can hold. He can walk away. That is leverage in every conversation about car development and team strategy. The next section explains why Red Bull's offer is about removing his power. The RB22 is an incomplete car. Year 1 of any new power unit program almost never delivers championship-winning performance. In power-sensitive sectors, the RB22 loses 3 to 5 tenths per lap. Over a race distance, that deficit compounds into seconds. Seconds become positions. Positions become points. The RB22's aerodynamic platform was designed around a power unit that delivered more performance in simulation than the real-world unit has produced. The car is draggier, slower on straights, and harder on its tires. Verstappen's long-run averages show higher tire wear than his rivals because he is pushing harder to compensate for the power deficit. The 2027 regulation change is the wild card. No one knows which team will nail the next formula. That tension is at the heart of this saga. The next section reveals how Jos Verstappen has positioned himself at the center of this negotiation. When GP Blog published their report, Jos Verstappen responded with 4 words. "You know absolutely nothing." He did not deny an offer exists. He did not confirm the clause will remain. He swept the reporting aside without refuting a single detail. That is a calculated response. When Robert Dornbos commented on the clause, Jos dismissed him. When Martin Brundle suggested the Verstappen camp was undermining the team, Jos called him an idiot. Jos warned the team would fall apart under Christian Horner. When Horner stepped down, Jos was proven right. He is not a bystander, he is the principal protector of his son's interests. Max has said nothing publicly. His silence is the loudest statement. The next section examines where Verstappen could go if he triggers that clause. Mercedes has Toto Wolff committed to George Russell and Kimi Antonelli. Antonelli is the championship leader, a 19-year-old sensation with 6 race victories. But Verstappen is a 4-time champion. Mercedes would have to choose between the future and the present. McLaren has both seats filled. Oscar Piastri signed through 2027. Lando Norris is the defending champion. But Gianpiero Lambiase, Verstappen's race engineer, is moving to McLaren. Engineers follow drivers. Lambiase knows Verstappen's driving style. Aston Martin is the dark horse. Adrian Newey has arrived. Lawrence Stroll has money. If anyone can design a car that challenges Red Bull, it is Newey. Ferrari is locked with Leclerc and Hamilton, but Hamilton's contract is shorter. Verstappen just has to be willing to leave. The next section reveals Red Bull's desperation. The offer that landed after Hungary is not a simple extension. Bild reports Red Bull has offered Verstappen a deal through 2029 with a significant salary increase. The condition is simple. The performance clause must be removed. Red Bull is not offering more money because Verstappen is performing below expectations. They are offering it because they cannot afford to lose him. This is a buyout of his escape route. The terms vary. Some mention a substantial salary increase. Others mention a buyout figure. But the core is the same. Red Bull wants the clause gone before the October deadline. Every race without a signature makes the clause more valuable to Verstappen. Red Bull has lost Newey, Wheatley, and Lambiase is leaving. Losing Verstappen would be losing the last pillar of their championship identity. The next section projects what happens next. The Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort on August 23rd is the pressure point. If Verstappen signs before that weekend, it is a statement of commitment. If he does not, the speculation will reach a fever pitch. The October deadline is looming. Every race matters. Every performance from the RB22 matters. What happens if Verstappen stays? He is locked in until 2029, giving Red Bull stability but risking a repeat of the 2026 underperformance. What happens if he leaves? Red Bull loses its leader, its brand identity, and its best chance at the 2027 regulations. 4 consecutive world titles, 5 Constructors' Championships. A period of dominance remembered for decades. But it could also become the greatest what-if in Formula One history if he walks away. Max Verstappen is not just a driver, he is a force of nature. The decision will not be made in a boardroom, it will be made on track. And whatever he decides, it will echo through Formula One for a decade.